Hello, I'm Lonce LaMon, and welcome to AdjusterCom. Welcome to another hotter than hell day in paradise. I'm here to talk about Friday afternoon, Kelly Soo Park. Okay, Kelly Soo Park is accused of the murder of aspiring actress and model Juliana Redding. March 15th, 2008. Here it is, more than 4 years later. Okay, downtown LA, the Clara Shortridge Foltz Criminal Justice Center, Department 109. I was there, 8:30 a.m., a day that already was likely to be extremely hot. A very cool courtroom, which I enjoyed. Eric Harmon was there. He was freezing his butt off. And Kelly Soo Park's third set of attorneys since her arrest in 2010 were there. Mark Kasabian and George Bueller. All right. All the attorneys, Bueller, Kasabian, Eric Harmon, and this new woman attorney from the DA's office. Her name is Stacy. I couldn't catch her last name. They all went into the back and they talked. They had a discussion, so they were gone. The benches filled up with Kelly Soo Park's usual and customary entourage. Kelly and her man, the cop, the recently retired patrol watch commander, his name is Tom Cronister from the Oxnard Police Department. He's sitting right next to her, and he looks like a cop. He was wearing a nice half-sleeve blue shirt and black pants. Kelly Soo Park was wearing her black pants and a striped shirt, looked gorgeous, had her long, beautiful hair there. She was twirling her hair, and Tom Cronister was playing with his smartphone. So they're sitting right behind me, right next to me, while Kelly's drinking a cup of tea in a paper cup. So we're waiting and waiting and waiting. Finally, the attorneys come back out, and the judge shows up. Her name is Kathleen Kennedy. She was looking good with her long bangs and her hair to her chin, and she had her robe open. She always just kind of slinks it on and has it open and very casually. So she opened court and asked the lawyers to announce themselves, and Eric Harmon said, "Your Honor, with the court's indulgence, I want to state that there's an independent investigation going on, and lots of investigators, plus other DAs." And he explained that he has to sort through all of this material from these investigators and DAs that's discoverable. And so they asked for a future date to, proceed with pretrial on October 2nd. So still in the pretrial phase, still in discovery, still struggling with what I know is fraud. This is Dr. Uwaydah. Kelly Soo Park was his right-hand woman. She was involved in his fraud game. That's what is slowing down this case and keeping it from ever being a murder case, a typical murder case. It's workers' comp fraud, but not just that, it's also pharmaceutical fraud. Also, Uwaydah is into real estate fraud. He's into money laundering. He's into any kind of fraud that you can shake a stick at. So here we are waiting, and the poor Reddings, Patricia and her husband, the pharmacist, is Gregory Redding. Just 3-4 months ago, they appeared in court and pleaded for this case to move forward so that they can have a trial for their daughter. Their daughter is dead, as they spoke so passionately. Well, actually, it was Patricia who spoke on behalf of the couple, while Greg stood there very lovingly supporting her. And she said, "We don't get our daughter on holidays. We don't get together with her anymore. That's all over for us." But yet Kelly Soo Park walks around free. And they desperately want to see this trial start, and it's not starting. The discovery issues are huge. The amount of investigation going on with clearly many insurance company investigators, the FBI, the Secret Service, the government. What was also really interesting is that when I first read Buehler and Kasabian's website, back when it was in the spring, Kelly fired her former lawyers, Stephen Bernard and Elena Klimianok, and hired this firm, Kasabian and Buehler. I read on their site that they have experience representing people who are being investigated by the government. Plus, they have experience defending doctors who are being accused of fraud and inappropriate billings and charges. I reported that's why I think that Kelly Soo Park chose these lawyers, Kasabian and Buehler, and then a few months later I reread their website and they took all of that verbiage off. They edited it after I reported that. So that kind of cracked me up. So what a scenario. I keep thinking about Dominic Dunn. Love Dominic Dunn. He would have said, so it's the accused murderer in bed with a cop. I mean, it's a cliche. She's in bed with the cop's in bed with the accused murderess, and they leave the courtroom, and she tried to slip out from behind my camera. I had the camera focused on Tom Chronister, the cop, and then suddenly she was gone. She must have fled up the stairs and down the sidewalk, but she did not hold hands with Chronister. So I followed her and I ran. I can still run, even though it was hotter than hell. I ran down the sidewalk, and with my zoom lens, I finally, at the corner as they crossed Broadway, they were running on Temple Street on the north side, and they crossed at Broadway, and I zoomed in on them, and finally when they got to the corner, they held hands. And so they didn't want my camera to catch them holding hands walking up East Temple Street in downtown LA. But cameras with zooms and journalists like myself who can still run and still got it are going to catch up with them. Well, okay, that's the report. October 2nd, back in court, and as Eric Harmon said, I'm trying to get this to trial, and I asked the court's indulgence, and Judge Kathleen Kennedy replied very serenely this time. She didn't get pissed, but she said, I'm really hoping that this case is going to get to trial in the foreseeable future. Thank you for watching. I'm Lonce LaMon with AdjusterCom.